Welcome to Spirit Change Radio.
Okay, listen.
I'm Josh. This is Alan. That's Pete and Sarah.
You've seen this button around town or around the country or around the world. Now that's not what we said, Simon. That's it for Spare Change.
Welcome back to Spirit Change Radio. This is episode 3. Happy to have you here. Hope you enjoyed our episode last week with Brett Chartier. I'm back with Pete.
Hi.
And Sarah.
Hi.
And Alan is away from us today. He's in Thailand, but we're going to give him a call today and check in on his travels here soon. But I think we should start off with the big news right now, where we were all at recently, was Stage AE with the Common Heart for their hometown show. It was pretty wild. And this was our first time with the new model filming at a concert that we had the two of you as part of it. Now, I know you helped out with Sheely before, but that sort of ended during the busking scene.
Yep.
I'm just curious what your impressions were having seen, you know, what we did together as a team at that event. How'd you like it? What were your thoughts? And Pete, you especially, you know, having been here from the old school days to now, what was your impression of the actual show with the Common Heart?
Yeah, it's a completely different vibe on like what we used to do. You know, like we were always performing, you know, it was never anybody else. And then, you know, going to such a huge stage like Stage AE, seeing such a great band like Common Heart, and they have an enormous following. You know, they had like over 1,000 like pre-sales, and you know, just the overall vibe of everybody there. You know, it's like it's like give love, get love kind of vibe through Common Heart. So, you know, like everybody was there. And, you know, I had the chance to take the camera around and follow Alan, you know, for like the collection. And it was just insane the amount of like money that we made in a half a song. You know, it was like
$925 in about 10 minutes. And that was your first time seeing like the bucket passing happen too.
Yeah.
And we talked about that in the last episode, how, or maybe the first one, how crazy it can be in that crowd when people start like flooding towards you. But it's such an amazing feeling because you just realize that like you're giving everyone a chance to pitch into something greater. And for them, it was the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And they've been on tour across the country right now with the Spirit Change bucket, but this was their first time coming back home, sort of triumphant in a way, having just been on CBS in the morning, that show. And it really felt to me like a big sense of community in Pittsburgh. And I was so grateful, especially Sarah, to have you there with all the cameras set up so we can actually capture the whole thing. Thank you, first of all. Second of all, what was your impression having been there at the concert? I mean, and you both know the Common Heart and that crew really well, but here it was a chance for us to work with them. So what were your thoughts on the night?
It was awesome. I love the Common Heart. We all love the Common Heart. They're a fantastic band to watch. So to be involved in that regard, more intimately involved with Spare Change, raising money for a good cause, being able to, I was on stage with the band when they were performing and filming from back there. So that was a really exciting experience. And just seeing the way that Pittsburgh came out. They came out for the Common Heart to support them. And they were all there like-minded to support Michael J. Fox Foundation too. And that was really cool to see. I've seen the Common Heart many times over the past few years, and this was by far the coolest experience.
I left that show with like the biggest smile on my face, you know, beyond knowing that we were able to help them create a large impact. It was just like a feel-good moment in Pittsburgh. It just felt like everyone was there, kind of like celebrating one of our own, kind of getting through that next level, and everyone feeling like we're seeing where this could go with them. And so it was just a great feeling on my part, on my end, because they took it upon themselves to make their hometown show be essentially a fundraiser, and they don't have to. They didn't have to do that. They they made this be a platform where they could, number one, collect coats before the winter, and then people could throw money in the buckets, and then furthermore, they have these limited edition T-shirts. So when you see in our post on Instagram the $925, that's just money that was thrown into the bucket. That's just the change. And they've been also fundraising with these T-shirts as well, So their number is just going to keep growing and growing right now, and I'm really excited to see where it all lands, you know, at the end of the year, and to keep watching what they do. So hopefully we'll have Clinton come in here soon and tell us how it was from his perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just insane. The amount of people, like before Buffalo Rose opening band even started playing, like lined up at the merch table. Everybody in that line in the merch table was like buying one of those limited edition shirts. So it was like they did a heck of a job, and that was such a cool idea to partner up with Michael J. Fox Foundation to create like a band T-shirt. So it's just like a co-thing. So it's pretty great.
It's so cool. You see like the DeLorean on the T-shirt and the Common Heart name in the Back to the Future font. And, it's our first time having a band partner with a nonprofit to create a T-shirt like that could be able to generate money. And so, I mean, it just kind of harkens back to what we've been talking about, which is that we're all figuring this out as we go, all learning what's possible together. And that's what's great about this network of musicians is that all ships rise with the tide. And as one band tries something like a T-shirt, the rest of us can sort of learn from it and say, okay, maybe we should do more of that. Maybe we should do more limited T-shirts. So that's been really great. I'm excited for the videos to come out from the show because I think people are going to really dig it. And they sounded so good too. So other things going on right now in the network, the Knox Boys just hit $930 for the education partnership. They're closing in on $1,000. I know they're really excited about hitting that $1,000 mark as they tour around the country. I just talked to Zach Kime today. They're in Wisconsin, I believe. He said it's really cold right now. But they've been really kind of picking up the charge on the road. And they'll be at Light Up Night coming up this next Friday from when we're recording this. Will be November 22nd, which will have long since passed when you're listening to this, watching this podcast. But they're going to be there, as will Byron Nash on a separate stage at PPG Place, fundraising for American Cancer Society. So in one night, this Light Up Night in Pittsburgh, we'll have two artists out there in the city fundraising simultaneously for two different causes at two different stages. And it's really proving out this idea of like how we can spread this thing without even trying. It wasn't like, it was just a coincidence that we'd both be doing things on that night. And I have the privilege of emceeing the tree lighting ceremony at PPG Place again, which I'm really excited for. And having Byron there, making it more of a rock show is going to be great to raise more money for their causes. And it seems like it's all coming together right now, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's crazy how this whole spare change thing got started, and you've become like this personality and like within like all the other like Pittsburgh personalities. You've been on like KDKA and stuff like so much. You did Light Up Night before, and it's like you just got picked for 40 under 40.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
That's just amazing. It just went from like this guy that lived out in Irwin
Still
and
do.
just like he just like trickled into like jamming around Pittsburgh, and now you're doing great things around the community, helping out so many different nonprofits, different organizations, and being an active member in the community too. So congratulations for all that. That's such an amazing thing.
I appreciate that. And beyond that, I think it's just to have the second to call it out. I mean, we've had so many people along the way jump in on this idea and become a part of it. Yourself included, Jared, Taylor, obviously Alan, Sarah, now having you be a part of it, and then having all these bands really, really doing the heavy lifting, taking the bucket out, making the announcements, donating it to the cause. That to me is where it's like, it's cool to be celebrated. Don't get me wrong. It's an honor to be a part of that. But I really hope that people realize that, that's really an award for all of us who've been working on this thing so far. And that's how I look at it. It's like, it's a pat on the back for all of us who've believed in this thing, but there's such a long way to go. And to have that award now, when I'm like thinking to myself, these people don't even realize what we're doing in this moment. A lot of people still don't know about the new model and how we're growing the impact over time with the artists. Mm-hmm. So what's exciting to me is like, to have recognition now is great, but knowing where the thing is going, and I can't wait for the day where we're recognized collectively together by the impact we've made, and that's really what I'm driving for. And we're getting close to that $10,000 mark on Spot Fund right now. It looks like we're going to have it by the end of the year. Got a lot of artists out there picking up the charge. We talked to Brett Trottier last time, and I know he and I have a contest going on. Whoever raises the most money by the end of the year, by January 1, the loser will donate one show's bucket proceeds to the other one's cause. Yeah. And we got to be neck and neck right now. Do you have it pulled up? Do you know where we're at?
Yeah, you guys are neck and neck now, but it's looking like Brett's just ahead of you, $650 to $616.
So yeah, we're real close. And I have not yet donated the last show I had, which is about, I think, $54. So that's putting us right there.
Yep.
And I have a show coming up this weekend at the Fire Pit in good old Irwin, PA. You should really stop down. Great food, great people, the Fire Pit. they're not paying me to say this. They're just paying me to play some music. But I'll have the bucket in tow for 412 Food Rescue. And I should say that I will be the musical guest today on our show, Josh Jams. So stick around to the end to check out me playing music and showing you what I do at a place like the Fire Pit to raise funds for my cause, 412 Food Rescue. And today we're going to welcome DJ Breis Gordan. He and I go back a long way. He's going to tell you about his cause, the Innocence Project. We're going to talk to him about not just Spare Change, but our history at Penn State together. And but before we start that, let's actually call Alan first and see how Alan's doing right now. We'll check in with him in Thailand, then we'll welcome Breis Gordan onto the show.
Oh, hey.
Alan, how are you? Where are you?
How are you? Where am I? I am in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Chiang Mai, Thailand. And
Yeah.
and for the people listening and watching right now, where have you been so far?
I was in Bangkok, and depending on who's texting, there's some different spellings that you get.
Yes, correct. And how have your travels been so far? Tell us about these adventures. I mean, I've never been to Thailand. I don't even know what to expect. What's been going on?
Well, it's like a third world country unless you're in the tourist areas, which is, I memean, it's fine. I'm used to roughing it, but I mean, I'm usually in the tourist areas, so it doesn't even matter. They have these little motor taxis. Don't take those, because they always take you to like some kind of store that they make you go look at shit for 5 minutes. And then like, it's just, they're fun, but they're just not worth how much time you end up investing.
Pro tips.
Yeah.
Is this your first time there?
Yeah, this is my first time here.
Okay. And you've been, we know from last time, you've been to 22 countries around the world. How do you rank Thailand based on the other places you've been? Is it the top of the list? Is it the bottom of the list? And why?
Dude, you can't hit me with that question out of the blue.
Oh yeah, it's also 2 o'clock in the morning for Alan.
22 countries is? Yeah, one, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and
well, I'm not saying to
out of 22 countries, that's a lot to ask.
No, I'm not saying rank
different.
it. I'm saying just does it fall to the top or the bottom? Do you have that sense yet?
I do not have that sense yet. I don't know. It's nice. I've seen a lot of temples, dude.
Temples?
I've seen a lot of temples. Yeah, because like 90% of the country is Buddhist. So Bangkok's their capital, as all of you in middle school probably know. All you guys in middle school definitely know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys did that when you were in middle school. I know you're a little bit older, but you go up and you ask them what's the capital of Thailand. The person's like, oh, it's Bangkok, and you knock them in the nuts.
Have you done that overseas?
No, I have definitely not done that overseas.
Good.
So
greetings from America.
They're all different. But I saw a bunch of temples.
That's cool.
And
so what's next for you?
That was really cool.
On this trip?
Well, we just got to Chiang Mai like 3 hours ago. So like this is like the adventure part of the trip. So Bangkok was a lot of temples and like markets, and this is going to be like a lot of hiking. We're going zip lining.
That's cool.
And some other like outdoorsy stuff.
Nice.
And then we go to Phuket, which is like they have like some popular beaches there that were in like movies, like Ocean's 13.
Sweet.
The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio, James Bond.
Great.
One of them was in James Bond. So if you're, I want to go to a famous beach person, Phuket is the place for you.
Phuket.
And then, and then after that, we're going to Cambodia. And then we're going to Vietnam.
It's pretty wild, man. How are you feeling right now? You feeling like you're still excited about the trip, or is it like dragging on? Are you ready to come home? Where's your headspace at?
No, I'm liking it. I'm having a good time. I'm getting plenty of sleep. I've surprisingly been able to go for a run almost every day still. I found this really nice park in Bangkok where like it was big, and they do like, you know, like how in like movies you see like if it's Central Park, there's always that one random guy doing like really slow like martial arts movements.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like this park was filled with multiple groups of old ladies doing the same thing in like bright purple jumpsuits, and it was amazing.
You should jump in. Join them.
Yeah, like tracksuits.
Ask them what the capital is.
I don't know if they would have found that disrespectful or not.
Maybe.
But then, and then one day I was running and they blew a whistle and everyone stopped running. But like, I just heard the whistle. I'm like, that was weird. Why did they blow a whistle? And then I kind of like zoned back into like the world. And I noticed that everyone had stopped running except for me and the only other white guy in the park. So I did one of those things where I'm like kind of like looking at everyone and realizing they stopped running, and I like slowly stop running and come to a stop, and then I'm just looking around.
Why was
it? For about 30 seconds.
Do you even know why they did that?
I have no idea why.
Maybe it was like a moment of silence.
Call to prayer type thing.
Yeah. Pete, you had a question?
Something like that. I don't know. We stood there in silence for like a minute, and they blew the whistle, and everyone just started running again.
Time out.
Have you ran into any buskers?
Yeah, actually, outside of the red light district, there was a lady doing, like some people just set up like an amp and sing.
Yeah.
She was doing that.
Was it cool? Was it good?
It was not good, and we were just walking by, so I did not stop to give a...
You didn't donate?
Yeah, it wasn't cool enough for me to stop, so no, it wasn't cool.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility when you see, even in America, someone performing to like throw $1 in because of what we're doing with spare change? Or do you not feel that at all?
It depends. Usually I will throw something like a coin in if I have it, but they don't use as many coins here as we do in America.
Yeah.
So in America, I'd throw like $1 in.
Okay.
But the equivalent of here would be like 30 baht, which it's a lot of work to pull out like a 20 and then a 10 cent or like a 10 piece coin because you don't have that many.
Yeah.
Or even getting 10 piece coins is difficult.
What's $1 worth there?
That, and there's a lot of people begging. So
that's sad. What's $1 worth there?
Yeah. What's $1 worth here? It's worth 30 baht, but you can buy, I don't know, once you break it down to what you can buy, it varies wildly. So if you go into 7-Eleven, you can get a bag of chips for 30 baht, which would be $1. But if you go to a restaurant, you can get a whole bowl of noodles and an appetizer and a drink for 150 baht, which would be, what's that? 3 times 5.
Yeah. A couple bucks.
$5.
Well, listen,
how was your thing this morning?
It was good. So this morning I was out at PPG Place getting ready for light up night because Byron Nash is performing there for the tree lighting ceremony. So we had Pittsburgh Today Live was there to film a promo that they're going to air next week leading up to the event. And by the time this episode comes out, that will have passed already. But what's crazy, I didn't realize this, is that the Knox Boys are also playing on light up night. So they're
be in front of the courthouse.
Yeah. So they're going to be fundraising for education partnership at the same time. Byron's going to be fundraising, and we're slowly but surely kind of infiltrating light up night right now without them knowing it. We have PPG on lock right now with the American Cancer Society, but it's cool to have Knox Boys out there doing it too, because who knows, that could be a great night for the causes, and we're getting really close to that $10,000 mark. So
aren't they opening up for someone real big too?
Yeah, they're opening up, I think, for Joe Grishecki, and then I know that Adam Lambert's playing somewhere downtown he plays in Queen right now.
I think he's playing on the same stage.
That's great. So maybe I'll go sneak over there after Byron performs and see them wrap up before Adam Lambert comes on. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
It'll be solid.
Cool that we have a couple people out fundraising. And I don't know if you saw this, but the Knox Boys just hit $930.
Yeah, I did. I updated their charity impact sheet, so I saw it.
Well done, Alan. It's great, though.
You and Brett out of the water.
I know. Brett and I are trying to keep up with them right now, but we'll get there. So, yeah, they're doing really well. But, yeah, things are going well back here at home. We're excited to have you back. We'll have you back for the next episode in person, I think, right? December 2nd, we're going to tape.
Yeah, I get home, I think, December 1st. So
Perfect.
I will be there.
Well, listen, safe travels. Thanks for calling in and checking in with us. Make sure you spend
no stress. Have fun with Breis.
Spend your bots wisely. All right, Alan, listen, we'll let you get to sleep. Thanks for calling in. Enjoy the rest of your trip, and we'll check in with you soon.
All right, thanks, mate. Have a good one.
Now we're going to welcome to the show our guest today, DJ Breis Gordan. Breis, welcome to Spare Change Radio.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. We go back a long ways, and we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about our history together and also let people know what it is you're doing here in Pittsburgh. And I'm really excited about you sort of forging a pathway inside your genre because we don't have anyone doing what you're doing right now. Before we jump into that, we're going to invite you to join us in something we call Battle of the Bands here. We've asked our fans online to vote between two bands, and we're going to make our case for whatever our choice would be. Does that sound good?
I'm all in.
Okay, great. Sarah, tell us about the matchups this time.
All right, first matchup. Red Hot Chili Peppers versus Foo Fighters.
Okay, so backstory here is I went to a concert with the two of them together back in the day when I was in high school. That was an amazing lineup, and I thought they'd be a good challenge to each other. So I'm curious about, we'll go to our guest first. Foo Fighters, Chili Peppers, where do you fall on that spectrum?
Well, I saw you guys running this contest on the Instagram, and this one I actually had to pause the story and I really thought about it for a second. I'm like, damn, who am I gonna pick here? Chili Peppers or Foo Fighters? I'm pretty sure I went with the Chili Peppers, but really, that's a tough choice. Pretty sure I went with the Chili Peppers more because I've always been a fan of them. Foo Fighters, I got into it a little later. Dave Grohl, though, I love Dave Grohl.
Right.
Nirvana I love Nirvana, but Chili Peppers, I play more of Chili Peppers music.
Do you?
So yeah, I think that has a lot to do with my choice of the Chili Peppers.
Okay, we got one for Chili
that's why I'm
Peppers.
leaning towards the Chili Peppers.
Pete, what'd you think?
I got to go with Foo Fighters just because of Dave Grohl. He's just such an awesome human, and great drummer, great just multi-instrumentalist. Love watching the Foo Fighters documentaries and setting up recording studio and stuff in their garage. Really trying to do reel-to-reel type recordings, not stick to this digital age of recording. And I think they've done a great job.
Yeah. Wait, what did you say, Sarah?
I chose Foo Fighters. This one was the toughest out of the four for me to pick, I think, but similar to what Pete said, Foo Fighters are just awesome. Seen them live a couple times, and they just blow me away every time. They're amazing.
I think, and also having Dave Grohl in the band, it's hard not to like that guy. I want that's someone to aspire to be. I wish I was that likable. I hope one day I could get there. But it seems like everyone just likes Dave Grohl. If he walked in right now, I feel like we'd just be like, "What up, Dave?" And it'd be cool. For me, this one was also maybe the most difficult one, and I think it could fall either way depending on the mood I'm in. Because these bands don't sound a lot alike, but they're, I think, equally respected. And I think right now, if you had to ask me, I would go Chili Peppers, actually. Lately, I've been throwing them on in the car when I'm not sure what I want to listen to, and I just go, let me throw this on. And I've just been like, man, they've got so many hits. Which both bands do. Yep. But just two consistent bands. I just think that there's some Foo Fighter tracks where I'm they kind of blend a little bit because they're so locked into that style versus Chili Peppers. The difference between Scar Tissue and say Dark Necessities, a new song, is really wide range to me. Foo Fighters' early stuff, Big Me, was more alternative. But lately, I feel like they're just that rockin' band, which I still love. But I gave this one to Chili Peppers by a little bit. What did the audience say?
The audience said 53% for the Red Hot Chili Peppers to 47% for Foo Fighters.
Okay, so they were right there with us too. That's a tight one. All right. Okay, that seems about right. I think that one could go either way.
Yep.
What's up next?
Next one, Drake versus J. Cole.
And you guys had said, Pete and Sarah, they're I can't help you with this one at all.
I have I've heard the name J. Cole before, but if gun to my head, what's a song of his, I could not tell you.
No.
I'm sure I've heard them before, but
maybe,
yeah. Same thing with Drake. It's just
Drake from Degrassi.
There you go.
Aubrey Graham.
There you got. That's halfway there. What about you? So you have some context to these two?
Yeah, I do. I think by a landslide, I have to go with Drake.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know probably a lot of hip hop purists are probably going to be mad at me for that.
Probably.
But I think you just look at the discography. I mean, Drake puts out hit after hit.
And you're a DJ, so you need the hits.
Yeah. So and Drake definitely I mean, from where I play and what I experienced, Drake pops off more than J. Cole.
I believe
think
it.
J. Cole's a great artist, and I do like a lot of his music.
But when you have an average group of people at a club or an event, you probably know, like, if I throw on, like, Nice for What, people are going to go.
It's still the hottest song.
Yeah.
I forget what I was going to say.
That's all right. So to Pete and Sarah, the Drake J. Cole discussion, if I may try to unpack this with
Educate
my
us.
knowledge, Drake is now established as being just like a hit maker for our generation. Like, he has a body of work, but always has hits, and is clearly like more mainstream than J. Cole. J. Cole is more like street cred that has grown over time. When they first started, they came out around the same time frame. I think they were both on like XL Magazine's like Up Next or whatever that's called. Drake was brought on by Lil Wayne, and J. Cole was brought on by Jay-Z. So they both had like mentors in the game co-signing them. Drake shot up from the jump, and J. Cole's always been kind of more underground-ish, although he's had a couple songs that have kind of bubbled through. Lately, though, J. Cole's last album, KOD, was awesome.
It's a great album.
Yeah, and I still go back to that album right now. So it's become more difficult for me to say. I would have to give it to J. Cole in this moment. Again, it's like that Chili Peppers, Foo Fighters thing where it's what mood I'm in. But like, there's fewer and fewer people doing what J. Cole's doing, which is like putting it on the lyrics and making it about that and not just like the melody or like the hit potential of a song. He can carry the weight of a song with what he's saying, and he produces the songs too. So got to give a little hat tip to that. I choose J. Cole for now, and I'm curious what people said online. I'm guessing Drake.
The voters were split straight down the middle, 50-50.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
That has not happened yet.
Yeah, that has not
been
happened
close.
yet. It's been close.
That surprises me.
Me too. I assumed that people that were, in our fan group would be more like the people you'd see at your club, like like the more popular one. But all right, good for Spare Change fans for knowing about. I guess it's not even really underground hip hop anymore because it's J. Cole, but like compared to Drake, maybe. Okay, so what was our next matchup?
The third matchup, Katy Perry versus Pink.
Oh, right. And we cut off Alan. He said he had a lot to say about this.
Oh, yeah. He wanted us to say that he is a huge Katy Perry fan. And back in, I think he said 2014, he was one of the only men in the audience. So.
Oh, wow. So he's like an OG.
He's an OG.
Went to the concert.
Yeah.
So to our guest, Breis, where would you put this one?
Katy Perry, let me set the stage. So I do I do DJ a lot of school dances, so I'm limited to what I can play.
Right.
And Firework pops off. That slaps.
Of course it
so
does.
hard.
It's funny you said that because I also choose Katy Perry, and that song, she's got a couple songs like that. Like Roar can just still like rock.
California Girls.
Yeah. I mean, I like the hit. I like them, and I respect Pink for sure. But like, there are some songs that she'll go into that I'm just like, I'm not trying. If I'm throwing on, a quote unquote pop singer, I want like that pop candy. Like, I want California Girls level of just like, I feel guilty liking this song. It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Pete, how about you?
I love Katy Perry, but I definitely would choose Pink. Moreover, like I like the raw grittiness of like Pink. It's like her really raspy voice is very attractive to me, and it's just I don't know. It's just like like the Beatles and Rolling Stones kind of thing. It's like I don't listen to either really, but maybe I'd listen to Pink over Katy Perry.
Yeah. And she kind of hits that rock area a little bit more than more than Katy Perry would. So I could see that too.
Yep.
Sarah, what did you go with on this one?
No hesitation, Pink.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. She is a badass.
True.
She can wail. She's got an amazing voice. She's done a lot of different things and different genres. She can hit it all. I'm not really into pop music a lot, and so Katy Perry was never like my thing. That song Firework, I would rather jump off a bridge than hear it again.
Whoa,
I've heard it
shots fired.
I have a younger sister that was very into Katy Perry, and she listened to Firework that summer it came out like on repeat for 3 months. So
it's
I'm over
jam.
that. But Pink. 100%.
Okay. And what did the audience say?
The audience said Pink 59%, Katy Perry 41%.
Wow.
I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah. Again, I would think that they would say Katy Perry, but no. Wow. That just shows you the people that watch and listen to Spare Change, they know their music stuff. I like that. Way to go, everybody. I respect the choices that have been made. So that takes us through Battle of the Bands. Thanks for joining us for Battle of the Bands this week. Last time we did it without Brett Trottier, and he was like, no, I have to be a part of it next time. Make the bands part of it. So you're a part of it now. So let's talk officially to DJ Breis Gordan, now one of the top DJs in Pittsburgh, voted by the people. How does that feel?
It's a great feeling. I don't know how I want to describe this, but yeah, I was voted by the people of Pittsburgh as one of the best DJs. Now, I use that term lightly because there's a ton of great DJs in the city. I mean, the culture here is incredible. We have, like I said, some of the best DJs in the nation. I mean, I can think of like 4 right off the top of my head. One of my good friends, Adam C., who he DJs down at Belvedere's with me sometimes. He just won the Goldie Award Championship.
Awesome.
Which is A-Track's DJ battle competition. It's a whole national thing, streamed live. And he wasn't even on the final ballot for that.
Yeah.
So I do take, it's a nice award. I love it. I think it does well for me. But there's a lot of good DJs in the city for sure.
And so now you're full-time DJing right now.
Correct.
So how often can people see you out during the week right now?
It varies with the time of year. I'm sure you know this. You used to do the full-time thing. Yeah. Right now it's pretty busy. I'm doing 3 or 4 nights a week.
Right.
Which is awesome. Like I said, we've talked about this before. I can't believe I'm actually like doing this, and it's working.
And how many years has it been since when was the moment you were like, I want to be a DJ, and then to now, how long has it been?
Man, I've been DJing for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. So I've never been doing it full time for 5 years,
right,
but I've been
sure. That started the idea. Started.
Yeah. And like I've said this before to plenty of people, is things just started picking up, and I loved what I do. And
it's been 5 years now. We should take people back in time.
Okay.
And we will talk about how you are fundraising for the Innocence Project and all the good things that they're doing right now. But I want to take people that are watching back in time and let them know about our connection, because we actually go back before Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Back to the land of Happy Valley, Penn State.
Yes, of course.
So help me set the stage here. When you first came around, maybe I should start by saying, for those that don't know, I went to Penn State, and my senior year we started this band called Table 10. And we started playing in all over State College. We went from playing one open mic night to pretty soon playing like around 4 nights a week. So similar place that you were at now in Pittsburgh, but for State College, which was a crazy town to be a primarily cover band and a band out around town, because any given night of the week feels like it's Saturday night, no matter where you're at and what you're doing. So we were trying to build this thing up, and it started very organically, just some friends jamming. And then before you knew it, like I said, we were playing 4 shows in State College, and it started to build to where we eventually got signed by an agency and then went on tour for a while. So at that time, it was like the craziest thing that had ever happened to be living it and playing music for a living. And then we had a lot of people out around State College that were very supportive of what we were doing as a band. And that's how we first connected. So where were you at around the time that you even learned about Table 10?
So what it was is my good buddy John, who is also my roommate.
Character.
I believe you guys played at his fraternity. I believe you guys played at KDR. And at the time, it's funny, I just posted this song to my Instagram story. I believe you guys did a cover of Stereo Love.
Yeah.
And he was like, you guys got to check out this band, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, we are following Table 10 around State College.
Like dedicated.
Oh, insanely dedicated. And, I don't want to say we were just followers. We were hardcore groupies, Josh.
Yeah.
We were.
That's crazy.
We would make plans around where Table 10 was playing.
Yeah.
And
That would become your like weekly schedule.
oh yeah, and you
And
guys were awesome too.
I appreciate that.
Because it was different too, because you guys weren't just a cover band, but you had Antonio didn't play on a drum set. He
No,
played
he had,
on
like, hand drums and stuff.
Yeah,
And he was
It was
fantastic.
great. It was great, and you guys played different cover music than the other bands in State College. So, yeah, that was excellent. And then, we have to talk about the State Patties Day.
Yeah. Well, let me first back up and say what happened. So what happened was we played at Penn State's dance marathon. That was maybe our second year doing it, and that, for those that don't know, a big fundraiser at Penn State. And you play at Breis Gordan Center, 15,000 people, the craziest venue I ever played at, all for this awesome cause that supports the fight against pediatric cancer. Thon and the Four Diamonds Fund. And then that's also like a moment for a local band where they can like kind of show what their show is to this audience of tons of people around town, the students. And after that show, we played Stereo Love at that show. And that was like a moment where we went from being like, we were playing like Dave Matthews and OAR to like, let's try a pop song, like a, almost like a club type song,
Yeah.
but with Antonio on the percussion. And after that, we got booked to play at the fraternity. And I'll never forget this because the fraternity booked us. It was outside. I actually have footage of this somewhere. We'll put it into the podcast if I can find it. It was crazy. I mean, people as far as the eye could see. We got up, did like 3 songs. The cops came and shut us down. Yeah. And then they paid us for the full show. That was supposed to be like an hour and a half. So we left there with like, I remember that day I had like, I don't know, like $300 in my pocket. We each did. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. We literally played 3 songs. But I guess we made a good impression because you and your crew came around. And that's kind of what happens at Penn State is like people will pick their band and then that becomes like, all right, we're going to go out to the First or the Skeller because the band's there. And yeah, so this all leads up to who is Josh back in the Table 10 days. Very different person than I am now. I was so like gung-ho about we're going to make it. Like we're going to make it. And I didn't realize back then what that even meant. It was just a thing I was driving for and trying a lot of stuff out even back then to get attention. So one like stunt that we did is Penn State has this event called State Patties Day, which was created because one time the school tried to move when spring break was around St. Patrick's Day so that no one would be at State College during St. Patrick's Day when everyone goes out and parties. So the students took it upon themselves to make their own holiday and call it State Patties Day, which has become the stuff of legend now. But back then I was like, everyone's partying this day. I mean, anywhere you go,
It's insane.
Yeah, crazy. And we were like, let's play as many shows as possible on this day. And we went on like the radio show in State College and we announced that we'll play your party for free. Just like sign up and we'll be there. And then we just like walked around State College with our gear on us. And one of the stops we went to was your house.
Yeah. We were your first stop too.
Yeah. It was early in the day, but you guys had, put in your work by that time. It was like a sea full of people.
Yeah.
And, it's like tell people about your party and what happened.
So John put this all together and we told everyone, we're like, Table 10 is playing not playing 3 songs, playing a concert at our house.
That's right.
You better be here like 5 a.m.
It was early.
It was no later than 5 a.m. So we all started at 4 a.m. So
I'll get ready. Naturally.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was snowing that morning too.
Yeah.
It was coming down, and you guys showed up, and you walked in. I mean, there had to be at least like 50 to 60 people, in a small, tiny hallway too.
Like imagine just like this room full of like people packed in, like they were at Stage AE the other night. That was how crazy it was.
Yeah.
And we just started rocking it.
And then my buddy was cooking eggs and in the kitchen, and he was on another level. And in the middle of their set, he just walks up and puts a plate of eggs on Antonio's drum, and everyone's just staring around like, "What the
in the middle of
the guy doing?"
Is playing the drums, and all of a sudden, just like a plate of eggs. It was like such a nice gesture.
But like,
I think he stopped and like took a bite.
So like we all grabbed him. We're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What? I'm just giving him eggs."
Yeah, it's good. That's hospitality.
Yeah. He like looked at us like, "I'm not doing anything wrong."
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, and so that's like the stuff of legend now. Table 10 was...
There's a video of that on YouTube.
There is.
I watch it all the time.
I think I have that too. So we'll have to throw that clip from your house party in. A younger Josh, driven Josh. But that's the funny thing about that is like when you're young and trying to make it, you think that means like I don't know. I don't even know what you think that means, but making it now is such a different thing. Making it to me now is like to be able to support yourself like you're doing in Pittsburgh and playing, 4 shows a week and make this be your career.
Yeah.
So in my mind, you have made it. You did it. So tell me about the decision for you 5 years ago. I mean, when I knew you in State College, you were just a music fan.
Yeah.
How did you evolve to become DJ Breis Gordan?
Well, I like you said, I was always a music fan. I mean, you could probably tell that. But I really did get involved heavily with the electronic music movement and what was going on with that, and I really connected with that scene. And I always wanted, I looked at it and I was like, wow, I want to do that. I want to DJ. And it kind of took off from there. I was able to link up with someone who was pretty popular in the city who was a mentor to me, helped me put me on.
So important to have that.
And things kind of escalated from there, and I've been able to branch out and do different things now. I know a lot of people know me as like the EDM guy in Pittsburgh, but trust me, I can play any genre, anything.
Yeah.
And I think just growing my brand is really helping me continue to move along with this and make it a full-time thing. And as you say, what is making it, you know? And I just I'm happy with what I'm doing. If I can continue what I'm doing, support what I'm doing, and be able to live a stable life,
what else
it's
you want?
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And don't trust me, this isn't the end goal. Obviously
Definitely.
you want to get better, but it's a comfortable lifestyle for sure.
And just by being in this level right now where you're at, you've gone so far past where a lot of people will go to. So many people are still in their garage right now, are still in their dorm room with turntables, trying to figure out how they can get to where you're at. And it's just one of those things where, every level you get to, it's like you get to another landing and you can go from there, hopefully to the next step. But once you're past the point of I'm making a living, that's a huge hurdle to overcome. And for me, I think like seeing you be at that point, it's such a cool feeling because I've known you for so long.
Right.
And you 5 years ago, at some point you were like, hey, I'm going to do this, and look at you now, which is crazy.
And when you make that decision, it's the scariest thing ever. Cause one of the things all the DJs I'm really good friends with, we talk about is like one of the worst things is the hardest things to do is like tell your family and your parents and your close ones, like, yeah, I'm just gonna DJ, and
I know that and that conversation.
Yeah, it's tough, and also, I'm sure, like I said, you've experienced this too. There's slow times and then there's busy times, and you just got to brace yourself for that and be ready. You got to keep the positivity going.
Yeah.
That it's gonna work out, and you just keep grinding.
And that's, I think, part of what we're trying to do with Spirit Change is trying to increase the moments for that positivity to happen. Because, the thing about it is just at the end of the day, you're just making an opportunity to contribute to a cause available. You're not forcing anyone to put their money in the bucket. You're just saying, hey, this is now an aspect of what I'm doing for a cause I believe in. But, when you're a touring or a professional musician at any level, if you're hit that mark of like you're supporting yourself from your music, there's the highest of highs and lowest of lows.
100%.
And it's hard to dig in sometimes and find in the lowest of lows, you're like, man, what am I doing this for when I could just get a regular job and have my weekends off like a normal person? Like all the things you don't think about when you're fantasizing about being a working artist or musician. Once you're in it and you realize, okay, I'm living the life. However, none of my friends are.
Right.
And my schedule's upside down to what everyone else is doing. And you start realizing that it does become about the love of the game in a sense. Mm-hmm. And your ability to dig in and remember why you started in the first place. And that's why what I hope for with Spirit Change, partnering with these artists such as yourself, is that we provide one extra thing that can maybe make you feel like you are making an impact, because you are. And being able to help you track that and promote it over time is what our goal is right now. And what you've provided to us that maybe people don't know about is we're in this pilot time right now. We're testing out this new model of Spirit Change where we have these ongoing partnerships. And that for us means learning about, how we support artists like the Common Heart across the country on mega tours, all the way down to how we support someone like, myself, who plays once a month at my local bar and restaurant, how that can still work across those levels and then also across genres. So you're the first DJ to have a spare change bucket at your shows. And again, probably people that are showing up to see you and are being at events that you're at even aren't coming thinking like, I'm going to throw money into a bucket. So what's that been like for you as you are sort of leading and holding the torch for this whole genre and spare change?
Right. So it's definitely been, some tweaking and some experimenting that I've been trying to work with to capitalize on the opportunity as best as I can. A lot of times it depends on the venue and what type of event it is. Cause there's times where I'm playing at a dive bar, or I'm background music. People, you're there just to set the atmosphere.
The vibe.
You're not, people aren't coming to, look at you.
They're eating food.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm working on making the bucket more presentable.
Yeah.
And I want to avoid it looking like, oh, this is my tip bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's like it's special.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, part of it too is, proper DJ etiquette is how to use the mic. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be on the mic in some places, depending, like I said, every situation's different, but
especially if you're supposed to be background noise.
Exactly.
Like I was just at Umami last night.
Yeah,
DJ Femi was there.
DJ Femi, that's my girl.
She was awesome.
That's
first
my
of
girl.
all.
Yeah,
but
she's awesome.
Now that I saw her doing it, it would have been really weird in the middle of like everyone vibing out if she was like, "Hey, everybody." Well, hi, first of all, because like she never talks
while you're in the middle of a meal too. Yeah, something
right.
of that
so there's
sort.
definitely going to be some exploration of what venues work and what doesn't.
Right.
When it has worked so far, what has happened? What's your move?
Well, so it's funny because we do an event called The Move. There you go.
Good plug.
Yeah, exactly. We got another one coming up soon here, so just plugging that right now. Stay tuned to my socials. Anyway, I partnered up with a couple other promoters in the city to throw an event. We call it The Move. They're usually based off of like some type of electronic music event going on at Stage AE because they'll end early, but we still have the nightclub, so we'll throw like a unofficial after party. Yeah.
So when everyone's like, "What's the move?"
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
And
I like it.
So what we've done is I approached them. I said, "Hey, I'm working with this collective called Spare Change. This is what we do. Yada yada yada." And we did well. We marketed it that, we were doing this fundraiser.
Yeah.
And, people actually showed up with legit spare change.
That's awesome.
Like nickels and dimes that I spent a good half hour, 45 minutes counting out how much money we made. And it was $54, but that's
it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, exactly. So,
that's so great.
Yeah.
Tell us about the cause you chose to support, the Innocence Project.
So, I chose the Innocence Project because, I have a really strong feeling of how we need criminal justice reform. I feel the system is broken. I feel like there's a lot of things that need to change. And one of the main reasons I chose this was there's actually a Netflix series out called When They See Us, and it's about the Central Park Five who were wrongly convicted of raping and beating this jogger to death, and they spent years and years in prison, and how there was how they were exonerated was through DNA evidence. Now, what the Innocence Project does is what they do is they help get the wrongly convicted out of jail through mainly DNA testing, but also what they do is, once these people are released from prison that were wrongly convicted, they help them get on their feet. Because you got to imagine, some of these people have been in prison for decades. They don't know what an iPhone is.
Wrongfully,
wrongfully.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they don't. Who knows where their family is? Where they're living.
Right.
So they help them with that too. And that was, if you go back and you watch the Netflix series When They See Us, they showcase that a lot. Where these people, once they were released from prison, that they were lost. And actually, at the time when a handful of them were released from juvie because they were under 18 at the time, they couldn't get jobs. They couldn't, they didn't have places to live. They had no money. And one of them actually turned to, selling drugs. And,
there's no support system.
Yeah, exactly. And, And the other thing too, I like with the Innocence Project is they advocate for, like I said, criminal justice reform, not just with the DNA testing and helping people once they're released, but just some of this. The jails are overcrowded right now. No one's really talking about it, especially with the whole marijuana situation going on. Should it be legal or shouldn't it be legal? But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone should be in prison for marijuana possession.
Yeah, and all these people are right now in limbo right now, waiting to figure out what the government's going to do.
Right,
but they're all still sitting there.
These people are nonviolent. They're not out to hurt people, and I think with the research that we have and the research that that's going to show is that marijuana isn't something that it's not more dangerous than alcohol. Let me put it that way.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
When you think about the overwhelming majority of people that are locked up as a result of it, it's pretty alarming. First of all, that it's been targeted in that way, and obviously it's disproportionate right now towards minorities by far.
Yeah,
and so it's really interesting that the conversation that's going on, especially in Pennsylvania right now, when the governor is like actually actively pardoning people.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's still people locked up, and that's where a group like the Innocence Project can come in, and actually like fight the good fight to get these people out of jail, and those especially that are wrongfully convicted. On top of that, it's pretty incredible the work that they're doing. I didn't know about it until you told me about it, and that's again sort of proof of this concept, which is like you are now outperforming 4 nights a week throughout this Pittsburgh community to plenty of people at different size venues, at different type of events. And now that you're kind of picking up this charge for this awesome cause, people like myself are learning from you. So while I know it's challenging, I think you have your work cut out for you being in a situation where people aren't hearing you talk all the time unless you make a point to do it, versus me at the fire pit. I'm like with the bucket, I'm like, hey, come on. Like I have that ability. In a different way as a singer type of musician. The fact that you're able to forge forward with this and brick by brick right now, you've gotten to I think $150 mark. Or
I'm a little over it.
You're over it now?
I think I'm around like 167, 170, somewhere around there.
And that's the thing about it is like it's adding up now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's cool to see is that you're able to grow that impact. And then for people that want to donate to Breis's cause, you can go to sparechange.tv/Breis Gordan, where his page will be at. You can donate right from there, throw $1 in the bucket digitally for Breis and the Innocence Project. And I think the other cool thing to point out here is before you got involved with Spare Change, I reached out to you just in general because I knew that you were DJing, and I've been working on this new thing that I'm calling Josh Jams, which is like almost out of necessity. It's harder and harder to get together with people and jam, but I wanted to create more of an act when I have these live shows, and I've been doing it with looping, and I'm going to soon hopefully start incorporating MIDI into it with my guitar. But I reached out to you to kind of get a sense of how you approach your music selection and the show from a DJ's point of view, because I'm kind of trying to blend those two lines. And that was before we even talked about Spare Change at that point. It was kind of just like a check-in moment. So to have you now be a part of this is incredible for me because of our history together in general. Yeah. Not mentioning the fact that you are spearheading this genre and trying to figure out how does Spare Change work in a DJ or club setting, and you're helping us figure that out. But also just as a friend in music and trying to grow my thing out and having your feedback has been really helpful too. So I'm excited to show everyone what I've been doing with the Josh Jams thing here as we wrap up today's episode. Anything else you want to mention to our audience? Where can they find you at? Where should they look for you? When's the next move that they should be aware of?
Well, unfortunately, by the time this comes out, the next move will already happen.
All right. But it's going to be great. You should, I'm going to send out vibes right now to make you think you should go there, even though you don't see the podcast.
Yeah. So the best thing you can do is you can follow me on my social media, Instagram and Twitter at Breis_music. That's BREIS_music. Also, my website is www.breis.net. And again, BREIS.net. That's how you spell Breis.
Right.
And from there, you can find everything from my mixes to where I'm playing, links to donate. All the good stuff, all the usual stuff.
And Breis made a specific Spare Change mix, so we'll make sure to put that out there with this episode when it comes out. Definitely check it out. The intro is amazing. You clipped together some great stuff and good Pittsburgh vibes too. So check out Breis, Pete and Sarah. We don't have Alan today with us to say any crazy stuff at the end of the episode. So how do we want to leave people here on this Monday? Remember, it's December 2nd when this comes out. It's getting cold out. People are probably feeling a little bit of, seasonal depression with the darkness and things. How do we brighten up the day? Take it away. I just threw it at you guys. I'm like, you do it. Any words of wisdom? Okay. How about Sarah? No? Okay. I'll take this one. Ready? Okay. Hi, everyone. It's your old friend, Josh. Still here. I hope you had a great time today on the episode. We want to say thanks to Breis for coming out. As you make your way through the week, I just encourage you to do one positive thing for someone without any sort of expectation for it, and see how it makes you feel. I bet you it'll make you feel good. And with that, I'm going to play a song for you. The song is it's an interesting one. It's called "No More Sandwiches," and the story here of this song is I was on vacation in Hilton Head with my wife, and there's a great sandwich shop called Stu's Subs. Check it out if you're there. And it was so good, in fact, that we were there early in the morning before it was open. So it was probably around 10:45. And I was so excited for the sandwich that we were ready to go before it opened up. So we're on vacation, beginning of the week. So excited to be back in Hilton Head. Excited to be back in my favorite sandwich shop. And it's closed. And all of a sudden, this girl walks up with the Stu's Sub shirt on and to unlock the door and presumably make our sandwiches. And she looked so sad that she had to go to work that day. And I remember thinking in that moment, I was all excited because I'm on vacation, living it up. And then I never thought about what it would be like to be in the mindset of someone that works at a beach sub shop and seeing all these tourists all day long and making them sandwiches when really they probably want to be out just like us, having fun being at the beach. So this song, "No More Sandwiches," is from the perspective of someone who's working at the beach sub shop and they've had it. They're tired of working there, tired of helping out these tourists, and this is the song to explain how they feel. Without further ado, this is Josh Jam's "No More Sandwiches."
Sandwiches for these tourists on my own. No, it's not rocket science, but I must be complying to all of their requests on my own. And I said, no more bacon, baby, no more onion, honey, no more lettuce, no more sandwiches, no more side of the fry, no more Mr. Nice Guy, no more making no more sandwiches, yeah, yeah. When you work for the deli, no, you don't get no ladies. Your best bet for success is to lay low, 'cause I see them laughing at me while I cook chicken patties. Don't want this bonnet on my head no more. And I said, no more bacon, baby, no more onion, honey, no more lettuce, no more sandwiches, yeah, yeah. No more side of the fry, no more Mr. Nice Guy, no more making no more sandwiches, yeah, yeah.
much sandwiches, no more food going to landfills. Support 412 Food Rescue. Download the Food Rescue Hero app today. Check it out, Josh Jams. 412 Food Rescue. Donate to me, not Brett Trottier. We'll see you next time on Spare Change Radio. Hey.
No more bacon, no more sandwiches, no more